Now that I've lived in Southern California for about 15 years, I feel like I've perfected the style of how to stay warm in those winter months, winter, for those of you that are on the East Coast. And what you need to do if you're traveling around the city, or one day you might find yourself in the 80s and the next day it's maybe down to the 40s. And the temperature here in Southern California definitely fluctuates a lot from day to day, and sometimes even the same day, depending on where you start your morning and where you end your day, what part of the city you're in. And even if you don't live in a winter climate where it's more mild, these are tips that you can take into early spring and even into fall as well. So when I'm dressing for those Southern California winter days, I like to start building an outfit with a base layer. So this is a simple classic white crew neck tee. It's one of my favorites. It's from Rag & Bone. I love this classic tee. I think it's one of your wardrobe essentials, but I also think it's perfect to start as your base. Some other great ideas for a base would be something like a silk cami. And yes, you can wear this in the winter. I wear this in the winter. I used to also wear this in the winter on the East Coast. I would just wear it under sweaters and again layer. And I like that, just I would peek out a little bit depending on what I had over it. But this is also a great option for a layering piece if you want something a little bit more dressy. Or you can have your base layer be something like just a really simple cotton turtleneck, like this white one. I mean, this is more of a mock neck, but I like to call it a turtleneck as well. It's like ivory. It has some nice texture to it. I also have this black cotton one. And these are just great layering pieces. In the video where I show you how to look chic in the winter, that's kind of for more colder climates, I do use these, or I recommend these to wear under things. You'd wear this under a heavy sweater, you'd maybe wear this under a dress, things like that. But for this video, where you're talking about some kind of warmer winter weather, this could be something you would just wear under, whether it's a blazer or a cardigan or a jacket or something like that. And the next layering piece is something like a lightweight sweater like this one here. This one's a cashmere hoodie, and I just like that you can really layer this under a blazer. I love that look, but you can use any kind of lightweight sweater. You can definitely use that as your base layer, starting there and then adding other layers on top. And the last item that is a great base layer is a dress. So it could be a dress like this. This is a dress that I actually wear all year round. It could be long sleeves. It doesn't have to be sleeveless, but I just wanted to show you that you can definitely have this as your base layer when you're thinking about doing clothes for winter when it's not super cold out. And before I show you guys some options for items that you can layer over some of those base layer pieces that I call base layer pieces, you also want to think about your bottoms. Your bottoms could be a pair of jeans. It could be leggings. I think leggings are great, especially faux leather leggings if you want to feel more dressed up in the winter this time of year, and wearing them with a pair of tall or over the knee boots. I think that's a really chic look to do in the winter. And you can also do something like a pencil skirt or a skirt that maybe has a little bit more heft to it. I like to wear my leather pencil skirt this time of year. I just think it gives you a little bit more weight than something a little bit more summery. And if your legs feel cold, you can wear those over the knee boots. I love wearing something like this with over the knee boots. I think it's super chic. Or if you want to wear with a pair of pumps or ankle boots, I recommend just doing a pair of opaque tights so that your legs are warm, and doing a black to kind of match this. Now, of course, on top, you can start with one of those base layers that I shared before, other than the dress, but you can start with one of those top base layers. And then I'm going to show you some other things that you can easily just layer on top. So the first item I like to layer over those base pieces is something like this sweater. Now, this one in particular, I've had this for a long time, so it's not available anymore, but I love that it has this open detail in the back. I think it just gives a little bit more interest. So I love wearing something like this over dresses, or I like to wear it over something like that silk cami, and it could just be with a pair of jeans and some cute sneakers or ankle booties. I just think that's such an easy way to get that second layering option. And if you're going through your day and it just starts to get warmer, you can always take this layer off. You want to think of your base layer as being the thing that you're always going to have on for that day, but all the layers that you put over that base look, you can easily just strip off as the weather gets warmer, or put back on as the weather gets colder. Another must-have layer, your second piece, is a cardigan that you love. Again, I love cashmere. I just think for me, it just really works in my wardrobe. I love how it feels, and I love the versatility of it. So this one is from Vince, and you can have any cardigan that you feel really works for you. I recommend doing something in a neutral, doing something that's more streamlined. I'd stay away from things like cropped cardigans. They're not going to really give you that extra layer of warmth, and they're more of a trend, so they're going to be in and out. So, but something like this where it's a classic cardigan, easily, I wear this all the time. I pair it over dresses. I wear it over a t-shirt. I personally like the white on white or the white on ivory, and it's just such an easy layering piece. And again, for the bottoms, it could be the denim, it could be leggings, it could be so many different options. And the next layering piece I really love is this jacket from Eero. If you guys have watched my videos before, you've seen this a lot. I get so much use out of this. I love, it's this structured knit. It kind of reminds me of those Chanel classic jackets, but a little bit more with an edge to it. It has this cool fringe. And again, I wear this over a t-shirt. I wear this over a silk blouse. I wear this over dresses. So this is another great option for a second layer that you can take on and off. The next layer I recommend having is a blazer. And this, again, it can be dressed up or dressed down. This one is from Helmut Lang. I've had this for a long time, so it's not available anymore. The key is you want to find a blazer that's classic, that's streamlined. I know oversized blazers are really in right now. I personally stay away from them. I'm more on the petite side. I just feel like oversized blazers look oversized on petites, and it just looks like you're wearing your dad's blazer. I personally like streamlined options more like this. I think they're more classic. I think they'll just last longer. So that's my personal opinion. Now, and then for this one, you want to find a blazer that is one you can dress up or dress down, but I love wearing a sweater under this. I love wearing that hoodie sweater in particular that I showed you earlier, or one of those turtlenecks I showed you, the silk cami. And again, this just gives you that layer that you can take on or off depending on how chilly it is that day. The next layering item is a great leather jacket like this one. So again, it just gives you that extra layer. Sometimes I will put a cardigan under this and then my first base layer under that, whether that's a t-shirt or a cami or whatever it may be. So it could be the cami, the cardigan, and then the leather jacket. Again, being able to take off layers and or put them on depending on the temperature of the day is super helpful. So for me, having a leather jacket like this gives that extra layer of warmth when it's not super cold, but you want a little bit more than just like one layer of a cardigan or something like that. And the last item I recommend for those kind of more mild winters is a wool classic coat like this one. This one is from Theory. I've shared this one before. I've had this one for over 10 years. It's amazing. Unfortunately, no longer available, but finding something like this, Theory has great ones. If you go to their site, you can find some really great options. I'll try to find some and link some in the description box down below for you guys. It is totally worth the price tag, in my opinion. It's super well made. And again, this gives you that extra layer of warmth. So if you start with your base, say I'm gonna start with this t-shirt, then I'm gonna put the cardigan over it. Then even I could put a blazer over it depending on how cold it is that day, and then the wool jacket on top. So you wanna think of these layers, these options as items you can take on and take off. That is the key to dressing for mild winters, layers. You don't have to have these exact pieces in your wardrobe, but most of these items are the closet essentials that I do recommend every woman has because it does help you get dressed easier every day, no matter what the temperature is. So if you have these pieces, if you have the foundation of your base layers, your t-shirts, your silk camis, your silk blouses, your lightweight sweaters, the first layer that you're gonna put on, then the second layer, you have the foundation for that, your cardigan, your knit jacket, your blazer, your leather jacket, and then the final layer being something like a wool coat or something a little bit heavier depending on the temperature of the day. So I'm just going to show you now some of the pieces I mentioned and what they kind of look like together so you can get more of an idea. But so this is that sweater I showed you that I love to just kind of wear over something as like a second layer. And here I have it just with that cami that I was showing you before. So this is how I like to wear, one of the ways I like to wear this cami, even in the colder months. I just like to have it peek out a little bit. And then this is such an easy piece to style with so many things on the bottom. Again, some of the classic pieces on the bottom, like I mentioned before, it's your cute pair of denim jeans and ankle booties, or your faux leather leggings you can wear this with, and maybe some tall or over the knee black boots. Or you can also pair this with a midi skirt or something along those lines. And the next thing I mentioned that I kind of just wanted to give you a better idea of what it looks like, wearing this hoodie sweater underneath a classic black blazer. You can roll up the sleeves to make it more casual. And this is so easy to do with just a pair of jeans. You can wear dark wash jeans, you can wear black jeans. You can also wear this with faux leather leggings. There's just so many options. And again, it doesn't have to be a hoodie if that doesn't feel like your style, just something that's in a neutral color, a lightweight sweater. It could be a crew neck, it could be a V-neck, but I think just wearing it under a classic black blazer like this is such a great way to layer for some of those colder days. And here I wanted to show you that ivory turtleneck from before, or mock neck, and with the structured jacket over it. And again, just adding that layer, you get a little too hot that day, you take the layer off, you get cold, you put it on. You could also wear the silk cami underneath. I know for me, living in Los Angeles, I will be in some parts of town in the morning and it'll be 40 degrees. And by the time I get to my next appointment or where I'm going, it might have gone up to 65 or 70 degrees and I'm hot. And then again, it drops down to another 40 degrees by the time I get home. So Layers are so important. Being able to take layers off, put layers on. I feel the bottoms aren't as difficult. The one thing I would say is if you're doing skirts or dresses, you may want to just get a pair of opaque tights that you can start off with in the morning when it's colder. And as the day warms up, you can just kind of take them off. So I think that's just another great option there. And then I just want to show you this easy styling tip here. So here's that dress I showed you earlier. You put a cardigan over it. It automatically just switches it from a summer dress to more of a, mild winter or early spring dress. Again, you can pair this with opaque tights. I would probably do like an ivory, the same color as the cardigan. And then you could do ankle booties or even over the knee boots or tall boots. And that winterizes it right away. And if you're still cold, depending on the day, it's so easy to just, again, pair that wool coat over it. And I just think that looks so chic, the white on white or the ivory on ivory over that what once was a summer dress, but now can be worn for winter. So if you find yourself missing some of these essential foundations of your wardrobe, make sure to just make a little list of items you need to pick up or look for, search for in your next shopping trip, whether it is some of these base layers or some of these secondary layers or even some of the third layers like a wool coat. These pieces are really essential to staying warm in those mild winters. If you like this video and you're looking for even some more tips for how to stay warm, maybe you're in a colder climate, I suggest watching this next video. It's how to stay chic even when it's cold outside. And if you learned something, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below for my new videos that come out every Thursday. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys soon.